LeBron James may still have a few years left in his career. From his numbers to his record-breaking plays, here are all the reasons why LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. Starting with LeBron's advantage in numbers. Now, Jordan might be seen as a better scorer and has won more NBA championships, but LeBron's the best all-around player, and their individual stats support this idea. Michael's won more NBA titles, most valuable player awards, points per game, and free throws. LeBron also has more All-NBA first-team selections and more rebounds. Not only that, but he also has more blocks and a higher overall field goal percentage per game than Michael. LeBron James is also the only player in NBA history to have scored 30,000 points, given 8,000 assists, and grabbed 8,000 rebounds. We can't ignore how good LeBron is at his job and how dominant he is. On offense, he can't be stopped from playing bully ball, and on defense, he's still a force to be reckoned with. Just ask Andrew Iguodala and Terry Rozier. They've been on the receiving end of his signature chase down blocks.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up to the line. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
LeBron's ability to not only play but also dominate all 5 positions reminds me of the great Magic Johnson. Even though Jordan averaged more points than LeBron, it could be said that LeBron was a better scorer. That's because he only averaged 2.9 fewer points on 3.3 fewer shots. By not taking those shots, LeBron gives up between 6 and 9 points.
I just want to say thank you to the Laker faithful. You guys are one of a kind. To be able to be in the presence of such a legend.
It's easy to see a great player on his own, but what's more interesting is seeing the team crumble without them. After all, the best way to judge a team's performance is when its best player leaves it. It's true. When Michael Jordan gave up basketball for the first time in 1994 to play professional baseball, no one thought the Bulls would have the same kind of success. I thought that MJ was the athlete who raised the bar for excellence and perfection in his field. On paper, the hole his absence had left would seem like a hard obstacle to get over. In reality, the Bulls did much better without Jordan. In 1993-1994, they went 55-27, which was just 2 wins less than the year before when MJ was on the team. When LeBron James became a free agent in 2009, he made the choice to leave Cleveland. James left a Jordan-sized hole in the team he was leaving, but the Cavaliers lost a lot more because he wasn't there. After having the best record in the NBA the season before, they had a terrible season.
The mishandle and the fast break. Bobo has, I've got the block angle. Oh wait, he's throwing a pass.
These numbers make it clear who was more important to their teams. Don't get me wrong, Jordan wasn't a bad player at all, but LeBron brought something pretty special to the court. His time was more physical but less exciting, even though there's a lot of debate on whether the NBA and game officials let Jordan play more physically. Athletes today are bigger, faster, and stronger than they were back then. Nutrition has gotten better. James recently said that he spends more than $1.5 million a year on his tall, 260-pound body, which is his most valuable asset. People also tend to forget that Jordan was on 2 NBA teams that came into existence because of expansion. From 1988 to 1989, the NBA added 4 new teams: the Heat, the Hornets, the Timberwolves, and the Magic. How did they get world-class players so quickly? To fill the need for these rosters, the NBA pretty much decided on the spot to fill the new teams with the players they thought were the best. This made the talent pool smaller, especially in Michael Jordan's conferences. These were the teams he'd play most of his games during the season and playoffs. In the early 1990s, both the Lakers and the Celtics were trying to get back to where they were in the 1980s. That's when they were the best teams in their leagues. Wait, that doesn't explain why Jordan's team was successful. Oh, but it does. The lack of these powerhouses helped Jordan's team win their first three-peat from 1990 to 1993. The NBA decided to add 2 more teams in 1995, the same year Michael Jordan came back. He won another three-peat of championships. Conveniently, 2 of the 3 years of that second run of 3 straight titles were when the league shortened the three-point line. From 1994 to 1997, the NBA cut the distance for three-pointers from 23 feet 9 inches to 22 feet. The change was made so that people could get more points. In the year before the change, his three-point shooting percentage was 35.2%. 42%. In the 3 years after, it was 50%, 42.7%, and 37.4%. No one can argue that this change didn't help Michael Jordan win 2 of his 6 championships, which would soon define his entire career. Things might have been easier during Jordan's time, but I can't say the same for LeBron. Back in his time, the competition was tougher because of super teams and player movement. Michael never had to play against players with as much talent and skill as LeBron does now. While LeBron is about to go into round 4 with the Warriors super team, Michael never faced a team in the finals with more than 2 All-Stars. Half of his titles came against teams with only 1 player. 7 out of LeBron's 9 trips to the NBA Finals have been against teams with 2 or more All-Stars. The 2018 Warriors team was like nothing I had ever seen before. This Warriors team had a lot of depth with former NBA Finals MVP and All-Star Andre Iguodala. They also had the young and raw athleticism of Jordan Bell and the veteran leadership of Sean Livingston and David West. Of course, it doesn't make sense to just compare LeBron to Jordan, though, especially not when he just made history with his record. Oh yeah, James broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time record. He passed Hall of Fame center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer recently. He did this by making a fadeaway jumper from the top of the key late in the 3rd quarter of a 133-130 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. This record was once thought to be unbreakable. For James, who's won 4 NBA titles, has been named MVP 4 times, and been named Finals MVP 4 times, breaking Abdul-Jabbar's record 38,387 points shows that he's been consistent and good at scoring for 20 years. With less than 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, James backed away from Thunder forward Kenrich Williams at the left elbow and moved across the paint. After pushing Williams out of the way to make room, James faded away and to his left. He held his follow-through as his jump shot went through, and the crowd cheered loudly. James then ran down the court with both arms in the air to show how happy he was.
Coming to the end of the 3rd quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history. And it is! LeBron stands alone!
As a teenager, scouts said James was a mix of Jordan and Johnson. Throughout his career, James has been proud of his ability to score and make plays at the same time. He often says that he tries to play the right way instead of trying to boost his own scoring numbers. James now ranks 1st all-time in points and 4th all-time in assists. That puts him behind only John Stockton, Jason Kidd, and Chris Paul. This proved that the high hopes people had for him before the draft were right. It may never be clear who's the best NBA player of all time, but LeBron James is making a strong case with each year that passes.
Into the 2nd row. 10th row. That thing was gone.
That's all the reasons why LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. We'll see you in the next one.